The dirt road to the cabin was narrower than I remembered. My headlights cut through the dusk, painting the pine trees in ghostly shades of white. The map on my phone had long since lost service, but I didn't need it. I'd been here once before, years ago with my uncle. Back then, the cabin was just a fishing shack, rotting wood, a rusty stove, and the smell of damp earth. Now it was mine, inherited. A fresh start, the lawyer called it. I gripped the steering wheel tighter as the tires crunched over gravel. The woods pressed in, their shadows alive with the chatter of night creatures. Or maybe it was just the wind. I told myself it was just the wind. When the cabin came into view, it looked smaller, lonelier. The roof sagged under the weight of old snow, and the windows were black holes staring back at me. I parked, killed the engine, and sat there listening to the tick of cooling metal. The silence felt heavy, wrong, like the forest was holding its breath. I stepped out. The air was sharp with pine and something else, a sour, wet smell. Rot. My boots sank into the mud as I hauled my duffel bag toward the door. The key my uncle had given me years ago still fit, but the lock groaned as if it hadn't been turned in decades. Inside, the air was thick and stale. I flicked on my flashlight. Dust floated in the beam. A moth-eaten couch. A table with one leg propped up by a stack of old Field and Stream magazines, and everywhere the smell like meat left out in the rain. I dropped my bag and opened a window. Cold air rushed in, carrying the sound of the trees whispering. You're tired, I told myself, imagining things. I built a fire in the stove, ate a cold can of beans, and lay down on the couch. The flames crackled, shadows danced on the walls. Somewhere outside an owl screamed. Then around midnight the knocking started. Tap, 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 3 sharp raps on the window above the couch. I jerked awake. The fire had died to embers. The room was freezing. Hello. My voice sounded small. Silence. I grabbed my flashlight and shone it at the window. Nothing but my own reflection, pale, wide-eyed. Beyond the glass, the woods were pitch black. An animal, I thought. A branch, yeah, a branch tapping in the wind. I lay back down, pulled the blanket over my head. Tap, 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 louder, closer. I sat up slowly. The sound wasn't coming from the window anymore. It was coming from the door. My heart thudded. Who's there? No answer. I stood, flashlight trembling in my hand. The door was old, the wood warped. Through the crack beneath it, I saw nothing, just darkness. Tap, tap, tap. I jumped back. The knocking wasn't on the door. It was inside the walls. I didn't sleep again that night. By dawn, the sounds had stopped. Sunlight bled through the grimy windows, turning the dust golden. I told myself I'd dreamed it. Stress, isolation. But then I found the hatch. It was hidden under a frayed rug in the corner of the main room, a square of worn wood with an iron ring. I hadn't noticed it before. The rug had been covering it. I pulled the ring. The hatch creaked open, releasing a gust of cold, foul air. Stairs led down into darkness. My flashlight flickered as I descended. The basement was small, dirt-floored, and in the center a rusted metal chair, chains bolted to the floor. On the wall, someone had carved words into the stone. It watches. Back upstairs, I found the journal under the couch, leather-bound. Pages yellow, my uncle's handwriting. October 12th, 1998. They say not to come here after dark. The old ones, the ones who remember. But the fish bite better at night, so I stayed. Bad mistake. Heard something in the trees. Not an animal. It talked. In my head. Told me things. I ran. Never went back till now. November 1st, 1998. It's still here. I see it in my dreams. A shadow with too many teeth. It wants me to come back, to finish what we started. The entries stopped after that. It came at midnight. I was awake, staring at the ceiling, when the temperature dropped. My breath fogged. The fire snuffed out. Something scraped against the roof, a slow, heavy drag, like claws on shingles. I froze. The scraping moved to the walls. then the floor. Under the house. I lunged for the door, but it wouldn't open. The windows rattled. A low growl vibrated through the room, deeper than any animal. Then a voice. Not a voice, a sound that became words in my skull. "You're mine now." I smashed a window with a chair and ran. The woods were a maze of shadows. Branches tore at my face. Behind me the cabin groaned, then collapsed with a roar. I didn't look back, but it followed. I could hear it. A wet, slithering sound. Smell it, rot and burnt hair. I stumbled into a clearing. Moonlight lit a circle of stones. In the center, a deer carcass, ribs cracked open. The voice again. "Stay." I ran until my legs gave out. Dawn found me on a highway, bleeding, hitchhiking. A trucker picked me up, asked no questions. I never went back, never told anyone. But sometimes late at night I hear tapping on my apartment window. Tap, tap, tap. And I know it's still hungry.